Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here, and welcome to the next episode of Movie Didn't Need a Sequel. And today, guys, I'm going to be covering a movie which is one of my favourite action movies of all time and from the 90s. And this movie, guys, was released in 1994, and which was directed by Jan de Bont. And this movie, guys, is none other than 1994's Speed. So yeah, now this is probably another big example I can say of a film that did not need a sequel and should have worked on its own as a standalone movie. I mean, I think even the director of this movie wanted it to be a standalone movie. So yeah, and I definitely couldn't agree more with Jan de Bont. So yeah, so this movie, guys, is of course an action movie starring my favourite actor Keanu Reeves as an LAPD SWAT officer called Jack Traven, and this movie is about a high-speed bus which has a bomb on it, and it's got to go at 50 miles per hour or more. If a speed drops, the bus will explode. So yeah, and it definitely has a very great concept, and it's kind of similar to Die Hard in a way, guys. One of those movies which was inspired by Die Hard, and it worked really well in my opinion. And yeah, I really love this movie, guys. Absolutely incredible movie, and it has a really amazing cast of characters. I mean, Jack Traven's an amazing protagonist, really well written in my opinion, and there's also great supporting characters. For example, I definitely loved the supporting character being Annie, who is a passenger on the bus who has to help Jack. And she and Keanu Reeves had great chemistry. Him and Sandra Bullock had really amazing chemistry together. And I consider Annie to be my favourite role of Sandra Bullock as well. And she played her really well, in my opinion, in this movie. And yeah, this is definitely an amazing movie, guys. And the villain called Howard Payne was played really well by Dennis Hopper. May he rest in peace. And there was other supporting characters like Mac, played by Joe Morton. That's my favourite role of Joe Morton. And also Harry, played by Jeff Daniels, which was definitely a big departure from his role as another character called Harry in a movie released in the same year called Dumb and Dumber, a comedy movie. And he played that role really well as a great supporting character. And the movie is definitely well written, guys, and the ending of the movie was definitely amazing because, there was no sequel setups whatsoever in the movie. And it has a very nice happy ending where Annie and Jack, they start a relationship, and she thanks Jack for saving her life, and they both kiss. So yeah, happy ending right there. No sequel setup whatsoever at the end of the movie. So yeah, all the enemies were defeated. And yeah, this movie had a great ending. But unfortunately, guys, of course, 3 years later, I think it was, 3 years later, this was unfortunately deemed not to be, because 3 years later, we got an absolute piece of trash, which was none other than Speed 2 Cruise Control. Honestly, right, this has to be one of the absolute worst sequels I've ever seen in my life, because earlier this year, guys, before I got the first movie on Blu-ray, I watched both the films by streaming, and while I adored the first movie and I really enjoyed it, this sequel, however, I absolutely hated with a burning passion. Oh my god, this movie was just absolutely atrocious from start to finish, guys. I might also probably say this is probably the worst action movie I've ever seen, definitely, and probably the fourth worst movie I've ever seen after Phantom Force, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and RoboCop 3. Because this sequel is just absolutely abominable. And for me, guys, it's not even speedy at all. So, and Jan de Bont was also brought back to direct this as well, which is pretty bad. Can't believe they made him do a sequel when he didn't want to. Oh, man. And originally, guys, Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock were both meant to be reprising their roles. Keanu Reeves, however, refused to return as Jack because he hated the script. So, and he definitely did the right thing, because in my opinion, this movie would have probably ruined Jack if he returned. And then, but Sandra Bullock, however, did return, and Joe Morton also would return, but unfortunately, he was wasted, sadly. I didn't really like that. Oh, disappointing. And I think Glenn Plummer's character also returned as well, which was somewhat of a guilty pleasure, but didn't save the movie. Definitely not. And because Jack does not return, guys, he gets replaced by a character called Alex Shaw, And oh man, Alex Shaw was such an unlikable character, guys, and even though Annie and Alex are on the poster, they have a very severe lack of chemistry in the movie. It's just so evident from start to finish. And plus, guys, the reason why Annie has dumped Jack, which is why he's not in the movie, is also pretty dumb as well. Because she dumped him just because he gave her a pepper spray for her birthday. And he wouldn't quit his job as a SWAT officer after he saved her from Howard. So, like, that is such a dumb excuse to dump Jack. Oh my god. And also, guys, as well, this movie was also really boring because despite being regarded as an action movie, in my opinion, guys, it's not an action movie in any form or fashion because it drags on far too long. Because for a movie which is only 125 minutes compared to the first movie which is 116 minutes, only a few minutes more than the first movie, this sequel felt like it was longer than it actually was and was hardly any action whatsoever, and that really annoyed me. And also, the idea of a speed movie taking place on a cruise ship, hence the title Cruise Control, is also so dumb and very inaccurate because cruise ships aren't even fast. They just go really, really slowly. They're slow. So it makes no sense. And it's way less thrilling than the first movie, which was on a bus. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. And also, guys, Annie returns, and they made her into a very unlikable character compared to the first movie because I've already said the reason why she dumped Jack, which was so dumb. But also, guys, despite learning how to drive a bus in the first movie, at the start of this movie, guys, she failed a driving test. So, yeah, and they made her very annoying, and I couldn't stand her. Like, it's ironic how I said that Annie's my favourite role of Sandra Bullock, but in the first movie because in this movie, I think this is her worst role. I think Annie's both her best and worst role when you look at both these movies because in this movie they made her such an irritating character to get through, and I couldn't stand her whatsoever in this movie. They really ruined her, and the villain of the movie is also nowhere near as iconic as Howard from the first movie because this villain is called John Geiger. And what's sad, guys, is you have Willem Dafoe playing him. So you get poor Willem Dafoe to play a villain, and this character was poorly developed and lacked intimidation. So yeah, and even his death scene was pretty laughably bad as well. So yeah, I really couldn't stand John Geiger, and I think it's and I'm very sad to say this, but I think it's Willem Dafoe's worst role he's played that I've seen. But thankfully, guys, he redeemed himself when he played the Green Goblin, Spider-Man, thankfully, so that's good. But yeah, this movie was just absolute garbage, guys, and had no reason to be made whatsoever because the first movie had an ending which didn't even set to any sequels whatsoever, no sequel baiting at all. And another thing was also pretty dumb, guys, is that the first movie, while it's rated R or 15, depending on where you live, the sequel is rated PG-13, which is just ridiculous for an action movie. How dare it turn on Valentine's have that just so dumb for a sequel? I can't believe it did that. It was just so terrible. Really bad movie, in my opinion. So if you guys want to watch Speed, just watch the first movie and stop right there. Just don't watch the sequel, Cruise Control. Please don't watch it because I really hated the sequel, guys. I mean, I tried to watch it, see what I think of it, and I thought it was atrocious from start to finish. It was horrible. What an awful movie it was. So bad. And they even had Paul Tamar Morrison appearing in the movie, but they also wasted him as well, which was disappointing. Didn't like how they wasted Tamar Morrison. Yeah, this movie was just a pure dumpster fire from start to finish, guys. Easily, in my opinion, the worst action movie I've ever seen. Just absolutely atrocious because it's anything but an action movie at all. Because if Bale has anything at all to qualify as an action movie, was the first movie did. The first movie was a great action movie, and I love this movie. Yeah. So compared to the first movie, which I give a flat out 10 out of 10, so I love this movie, the sequel, Cruise Control, I give an absolutely atrocious and awful 0 out of 10. So yeah, screw this sequel all the way. And thankfully, they didn't do any more movies. Thank God for that, because if they did, then I would be, furious because the first movie didn't need any sequels whatsoever. And yeah. And I don't think there's anything good about this sequel. I mean, I guess probably that, Sandra Bullock started in the movie so she could finance her pet project called Hope Floats. And Jason Patric used his salary in this movie to finance his film, Your Friends and Neighbours. So, yeah, I guess that's probably one good thing about it. And I guess the cameo appearances by, you know, Mac and Glenn Plummer's character, but still, they were wasted. So we didn't say the movie, definitely not. So yeah, 10 out of 10 to the first movie, but 0 out of 10 to the sequel. In my opinion, guys, Speed's only one movie, and yeah, like, and I got this on Blu-ray, guys, and I refuse to buy the sequel. I am not buying that piece of trash to, you know, to my DVDs. Hell no. No way in hell am I buying that sequel. That sequel belongs in the dumpster. Because that's where it belongs. Yeah, screw that movie all the way. So guys, this is me covering a movie which didn't need any sequels, which was Speed from 1994, and I love this movie, and it didn't need any sequels whatsoever. And in my opinion, one of Keanu Reeves' best roles. My third favourite role is behind John Wick and Neo. And yeah, I love the movie. It didn't need any sequels, yeah. So no drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, leave on the comments what you guys think of Speed. Do you think it needed sequels or not? Tell me in the comments below. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe for movies from the future. If you'd like to be a member, you can press on all that's all in the description. And I'll see you all later.